What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, and we are down here, girl, to talk about Married to Medicine. So let's get through this. We already did a 40-minute video talking about Heavenly and her homophobic, misogynistic comments that she made over the weekend in a video. So now we're talking about the episode. So we start off where we left off, where Tanisha is and them are running towards Tanisha and Quad are running towards Gregory and King, and she's trying to run up on King. I don't know what she was going to do, but you see Cecil telling her, go over there, go over there, go over there. Quad and King. Quad is hugging King, talking about, oh my God, oh my God. I'm sure she was tired because they was running. Then you better get to running, bitch. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know you stopped by, y'all. Eugene tells King, you know they have a past, and he says, no, fuck the past. He was like, no, there's only so much that you can take. Gregory was being combative. He was being petty. And then when old boy started charging at him, he backed up. He was not ready for confrontation, even though even though he just, I felt like you kind of challenged him by saying, and I would hope that you would protect her. And he took the challenge. I feel like when Gregory said, and I hope you will protect her. What did he say? He said something to that effect. Like, I hope you will stand up for her, right? If somebody's disrespecting her, I hope you will stand up for her. I think that's what he said. Or are you going to be ready to stand up for her? It was something like that he said on the last episode. And it sounded like King took the challenge. Did you see Eugene and Damon walking away, hugging each other? They had their arms around each other. That shit was so funny to me. When I tell you, them people was so drunk. But it gets better. Cecil tells Gregory, you can't put yourself in that predicament. King is telling Quad, I got your back. Everybody's all separate out on the beach, separate, um, in separate areas, in their corners, I guess. And Quad is over there with King, and he was like, you could say whatever you want to him. And he was talking to you. He tells her he was talking to you when he said, shut the fuck up. And she was like, he was talking to me? So they really didn't know. See, in the way that they cut it, it made it seem like when he said, um, you have a big fucking mouth, and then they showed a clip of King looking over his shoulder, those were clearly at two different times, right? Clearly at two different times. She was like, he was talking to me. He was like, yeah, but that, I mean, you just can't say stuff to anybody. And I don't know. I don't care. Like, two men fighting about a woman, let them fight. They've been doing it for centuries. So let them fucking fight. Nobody gives a shit. I don't care. I don't care. Mimi runs over to Tanisha. They separate Tanisha. Mimi and Phadra and Contessa run over to Tanisha. And Mimi, when I tell you I cannot stand these type of women, I'm sorry. Y'all might be out there, and I hope this doesn't touch you. I hope you're not offended. But you have a covenant. Girl, did you see that covenant at the end of the episode? Mimi, they're just trying to come between y'all. That's your covenant. Girl, shut the fuck up. Was it her covenant after she watched him mistreat a woman on television and jumped into his DMs and said, I can give you what you want? Girl, I was like, Mimi, shut up. So Contessa gets over there and they start hugging Tanisha. And then Phaedra starts speaking in tongues and catching the Holy Ghost and all that shit. I was like, girl, Toya, girl, sipping my drink, watching the theatrics. Girl, y'all doing is when I tell you it's overboard. Simone was like, girl, I don't know if God's gonna use you. He didn't use you a second ago when you was cussing them people out. How come God is using you for Tanisha but can't use you to get over this issue you got with Apollo? First of all, Simone, that's none of your fucking business. That's one. Okay? That's none of your damn business. What's going on with Apollo? Apollo shouldn't be here. Phadra shouldn't be here. Quiet as kept. Phadra speaking in tongues, honey. Simone said, is God using you to speak to Tanisha, but God ain't using you to talk to Apollo? Apollo said he's known that woman since 1997 and has never heard her talk like that. Ain't never heard nothing like that. Gregory's telling Tanisha, it's my fault I put you in the situation, but later he tells her it's her fault. It's best we leave. We're going home. Can y'all go home, never to be heard from again? Can y'all go back into private citizenship? Only a narcissist, after mistreating a woman on television, would come back and do it again, bitch, and do it again. And when she leaves, there's going to be another desperate, dumb, fuck, bitch, idiot, fool in his comments, in his DMs, ready to give him what Tanisha won't give him. If I'm telling you one motherfucking thing, bitch, if you don't ever, girl, you don't duplicate that. You do not duplicate that man at all. That is a man who is undeserving, unsuitable, unqualified to be in a relationship, let alone be somebody's parent. He's one of those ego-filled, self-absorbed, sawed-off bitch-ass narcissists who believe that they deserve offspring. He does not. I don't care what y'all say. She's in the interview talking about we gonna go home and get our sexy on, do that thing you like. You're dumb. I'm telling you, you are an idiot. You saw that man mistreat his wife and you thought you were gonna have a different experience. You heard her at the end trying to tell him to shut up, and he kept saying, he repeated himself, who you think you are? Who do you think you are? Bitch, that combat training that you was ready to inflict on King, you might need to punch your man in the face, girl. And I don't like none of you bitches in the comments, you abuse apologists, stupid, dumb, talking about, oh, he can change. You cannot change a man. Hang it up. You can't. On the boat ride back, Jackie's talking to King. How are you doing? He's like, I'm okay. I don't have a problem with him. People have their limits, he said. And she said, well, I don't want you to get in any trouble. She said, maybe y'all need to go back and get on that number 15. How many times have y'all screwed today? So Scott says to Curtis, I hate to see that it came to that. Contessa to Heavenly says, what is it? Why is it so deep with you and Tanisha? Let me tell you something. None of this had to happen if they didn't have so much disdain for Quad. None of this would happen if they weren't trying to get back at Quad. You can't tell me in real life a group of friends who would bring her ex-boyfriend, husband, partner back into the friend group with his new wife. The wife seems to be obsessed with Quad in some weird way, and you bring them back into the group. This man who clearly, and let me tell y'all one thing. I'm sick and tired of y'all trying to create a parallel between someone mistreating you and them still loving you. That is sickening. The way that he's acting does not mean he's not over Quad. He still loves Quad. That man hates Quad. He loathes Quad. He does not like her. And I'm going to go all the way out on the fucking limb and say he doesn't like women. He doesn't have a positive view of women. He does not respect women. He is dismissive to you as a woman. We saw him do it. She can't be getting in people's faces. Oh, that's just when she loses her temper. I said it and I posted it. That woman was getting a good at it. Didn't I tell y'all? She has a temper. You heard Jackie say we don't want her to drink. Girl, it's clear that you're in a group of people, you can't handle yourself. Because even on the boat ride back, she makes another ageist comment. I just asked her why was Shireen here? Bitch, we need to ask you why the fuck are you here? I just asked her why was Shireen here? I can't beat up a senior citizen. Go back and look at Gregory's face when she said that. Contessa thinks we need to give her a pass because she's taking hormones. Girl, you need to have an IUD shoved up your pussy. I would never have a kid by that motherfucker at all. I wouldn't even let that fucking garden gnome climb on me and put his dick in me. You're a dumb bitch. I'm sorry, she's dumb. And the reason why I'm calling her dumb is because you saw that man mistreat that woman. You're a dummy, bitch. You saw that man mistreat that woman. And you married him down to her fucking job, you weird bitch. Don't have a baby by that man. You better have all kind of cups and IUDs up your goddamn pussy. I put a trap door on that shit. A chastity belt. He would never get access to me. You're a fool. And all you weird bitches in the comments go, that's her man. She's married. Quad is jealous of that piece of trash ass man. That man is trash. And if I was of his fucking client, and luckily he probably, what Gregory probably does as a psychiatrist is give the meds, ask them a couple of questions about how they're responding to the meds, and sends them on their way. That's what probably a psychologist he is. Go read his Google reviews. Not only have you been able to see him in his personal relationship, go down and read that motherfucker's Google reviews and see what real people are saying about dealing with him. That fucking man is unsuitable for partnership. And that's how you know he's a narcissist. You're on TV abusive to women and you're a fucking psychiatrist? Girl.
I'm coming back trying. You still a woman.
Contessa said they need time to process and to heal. Everybody needs to be accountable and responsible for the role that they played. It's a bigger situation than we've ever had. Cecil says, how do we get back to where we can coexist? King says when they get off the boat that he really wants to leave. Eugene was basically telling him, don't do that. Don't let them, don't leave. Don't leave. The next morning, Contessa is telling Mimi, this is not the norm. We need a reset. Apollo goes to Heavenly's room with Simone and they apologize to him for what happened.
Girl, stop.
I don't know the whole shit. I didn't know the whole Sheck situation. Do y'all listen to the way Apollo talks? Girl, you know a motherfucker who feels like they're around people who he knows are smarter than him, and so he starts using particular word. I didn't realize, like T.I. I didn't realize that Sheck was going to add to the derailment. Girl, shut the fuck up. Just talk regular, nigga. We know your lexicon is not lengthy. Just talk regular, nigga. You sound dumb. You sound dumb. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He said, I didn't know the whole the Sheck situation would derail the situation. But he's basically saying Phadra knew that he was my friend. She said he told her he didn't know her, and that's the reason why he didn't know me, and that's the reason why she brought him. And then they say the problem lies is that she brought your good friend. No, the problem lies in you inviting him. Y'all invited him. Why would y'all and then y'all invite Apollo with the intention of showing Quad and Gregory how to act as divorced people. Girl, please. Phadra knew good and well. Phadra did that to play in Apollo's face. But she did that because y'all were playing in her face. And like she told Jackie, I mean, people can get their faces played in all day, but I'm not the one. Y'all not gonna play in my face. But see, Phadra was acting like she didn't know what was happening with this thing with Shireen. I would have always thought that Shireen, if Phadra had any sense, she would have always had in the back of her mind, he might bring that bitch. So I'm gonna fuck his ass up, whether he brings her or not. I'm bringing his homeboy. Yeah, his homeboy that he goes to the strip club with. Yeah, I'm bringing him. Jackie goes into Sheck and Phaedra's room. Phaedra says, I'm getting ready to leave. She asks Sheck to give them some privacy. She tells Jackie, this is how you know Phaedra is a fucking lion ass lizard. She tells Jackie, I'm disappointed in you. What the fuck did Jackie do? Jackie didn't even know his ass was coming until yesterday. So how are you disappointed in Jackie? I was like, she's just trying to put it on somebody, because what Heavenly said before she made that homophobic, misogynistic comment about real men and gay men and straight men, she basically said she feels like Phaedra didn't think that they were going to show her on the phone with Heavenly agreeing that Apollo could come. See, and she wasn't even clear. Jackie says, I I was told that you were aware that Apollo was coming. And did you see that Phaedra did not respond to that? She just did her head like this. So you thought that you were going to be able to play this game that you didn't know Apollo was coming with Jackie, I guess. Jackie was already told that you knew that he was coming. So when Jackie says, I was under the impression that you knew, that's why she stood there like this and didn't say nothing. Because why the fuck would you be disappointed in somebody who didn't even know that Apollo was coming? Stupid. When he came to the boat, I felt like it wasn't my place to insert myself in the situation. I don't know Apollo, and then Jackie should have basically put added to that, I barely know you. That's what she should have added. No one came to support me, Phaedra said. This is not the type of girls I want to hang out with. Well, over the weekend, we reminded Phaedra, you was the one down to the courthouse, allegedly, trying to get Candy's businesses put on hold. You were the same bitch who told Portia that Todd and Candy were going to drug and rape her. You're the same bitch that believed your lying ass, two-time felon ass husband that Kenya offered him fellatio and then went around and created a whole campaign calling her Kenya Hormore. You are the queen of the mean girls, bitch. So I don't know what kind of bitches you want to hang around with, but you one of them type of bitches too. Let's not get it twisted, because while Tanisha's over there talking about Phaedra's my friend, did your silly ass forget that Phaedra walked Quad into your little bridal shower bachelorette party? Did you forget? These are not the type of girls I want to hang out with. I'm going to leave. Why can't you stay and make them aware of their lack of support? Some people can be played with, and I'm not one of them. They're used to having this four-ring circus, and that's what Phaedra says in her confessional. They're used to having this four-ring circus. They're used no new people quite make it out. They always leave. They don't want to be around. And I was like, well, she has a point with that, because I really don't understand why Audra is not on there. Maybe because she fought Toya, and maybe it is those four. I really feel like it is those core four, like they said, Toya, Heavenly, Jackie, and Simone, and everybody else has to get in where they fit in. Quad is there. We've always felt like Jackie didn't really care for Quad and Mariah. We felt like Simone got along, but it was always something with Jackie and Quad and Mariah. She was always like almost like looking down her nose at them in a lot of ways that we were able to witness. And then did you catch Jackie when she was like, I thought she would come back stronger. We're not a group of mean girls. We're a group of honest, strong debaters. They didn't have that question on the bar. I said, "Ooh, was that shade, Phaedra?" It was. Simone and Heavenly, bitch, let me tell you something. If y'all sat across from a motherfucker I was in a relationship with and you supposed to be cool with me and start asking him about the kind of person I am, that shit is weird to me. They asked Apollo, why doesn't you asking Apollo, right? A person who just lies for fun, stealing people's identities and shit. You ask him, why doesn't Phaedra like to share? Apollo says he feels like it's a battle of the minds, the doctors versus the lawyers. And then Heavenly said, well, we see through her BS. And it's crazy because y'all talking shit about this woman to her ex-husband. Like the whole situation is crazy to me. And it tells you that, like, I don't care how many times Heavenly says, I like Phaedra. That's one thing I cannot stand that y'all do. Y'all have to preface shit with you like somebody. You really don't like that person because your mannerisms and your behaviors are showing that y'all don't like Quad or Phaedra. Your actions are showing me you don't like those women. Why would, girl, we're all boss bitches. He said, I thought I saw something in New York where you guys were supportive, where Phaedra says, well, maybe if I was around this group, I wouldn't have been so quick to get a divorce. Girl, you know you got a divorce because you don't want to be in line with that fucking criminal, would implicate you in some shit. Miss Funeral Director, girl. We notice now if things don't go Phaedra's way, she doesn't want to play anymore. Or she's gonna that damn stinger is gonna hit you. Let her get away as while she's in her, let her go. Let her go. Because that bitch will tell a lie on you. Will tell a lie, run a campaign on a lie. That's the type of, maybe she means I don't know, a different kind of mean girl, but that bitch is a mean girl. And I hope they don't let that bitch forget either. All right, so now they're going out for the day. Apollo left, Phaedra left, and Gregory and Tanisha left. Heavenly said, good, they should have gone. Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's leave. Y'all should have never been there. And the only reason why Gregory came back to that show with that woman is to play in Quad's face. But you didn't think that girl was going to come back with that man and then talk her shit in front of you. You didn't think so, did you? Hold on a second. So they said, oh, yesterday just revealed how bad Greg and Quad really was. They both need healing, prayer, therapy, and peace. So they go to the bar. Simone says yesterday was the worst experience in this group. Multiple arguments were happening at the same time. The most devastating thing was watching Gregory and King. It was a lot to unpack. Jackie had a conversation with Phaedra. Phaedra called us mean girls. She left upset and said that she was not sure she's rejoining the group. She's not rejoining the group because she will have to speak to, if you knew Apollo was coming, why did you bring his friend? You said you were okay with Apollo coming. We saw that. Maybe Phaedra was hoping they wouldn't add that to the edit, to the final edit, that she had that conversation. So she doesn't want that, she's not coming back because she will have to speak to her actions and how she went about what she did. Phaedra got on Married to Medicine on a lie. She lied and said that she was dating a doctor. While she might have been dating a doctor, we don't even know that motherfucker's name. We never saw his face, nothing. By the time they started filming, her rent a doctor, her rent a MD was gone. We ain't heard nothing from that man, don't even know who he was. And yet, and still, I don't know who's down. I don't know. It's weird, the people that they give opportunities to. I don't understand the thought process down at Bravo and NBC. I don't get that. I don't get it. Maybe that's just like, if you want to come on here with your lying, narcissistic ass, come on. We'll film it. Simone said, Um, frankly, I'm not going to miss Phaedra. She thought she was above it all. It just seems like her poker face has fallen apart. I said, oh, not the poker face, my poker face, my poker face, my poker face. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, I couldn't find. Give me what I got. Oh, 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 oh. I couldn't find. Give me what I got. Carry my, know you can read my poker face. Yes, come on, Lady Gaga. She didn't say that to me. I texted her. She got on a private jet so she can text. Because you're quiet. She's on a private jet so she can text. She got your text message. The men go and smoke cigars. The guys are out of character. This is how we roll. We're normally chill. We have a good time. Well, you see who the what you brought into the variable, that was fucking what's that nigga's name? Gregory. He has been, him coming on the show, agreeing to sign another contract to come on the show, knowing his ex-wife was there, knowing that he cannot take seeing her. You don't even like her, but you're here to play in her face. And I'm so glad that Quad brought King on the show. I'm so glad she said she fucks that nigga 15 times a day. I'm so glad she turned around and said multiple times a day. I'm so glad. I'm so glad she said, "Oh, it's getting loud over there. My man would never talk to me like that." I'm everything she said to her. I'm glad she said it. I hope that we get to see some unedited footage from that scene so we can really see how that motherfucker, because this is the second time on the sandbar Cecil had to get between Tanisha and King, and then at the night before he had to get between Tanisha and Gregory. There's certain lines you don't cross. It wasn't even about any resentment or being uncomfortable. It was about the disrespect. It might have been too soon. And the only reason why Heavenly had the opinion she had, where she fucked up and said that misogynistic, homophobic thing that she even said, "Oh, well, Damon." We saw Damon later saying that King was right, so she's gonna go with what he says. King was right in what he did in standing up, because when he said, I just told her to shut the fuck up." nobody nobody would allow their partner, regardless of their sexuality, to be disrespected by a little sawed off toy soldier. He's lucky he didn't kick that motherfucker in his chest while he was sitting down. He didn't have to move far. He could have lifted his foot up 2 feet and kicked that bitch in his chest. He's lucky. Yeah, you should have been scared. You wanted him to come after you. I knew that's what the type of niggas y'all are. I knew that's the type of people y'all are, because I know your girl. Girl, please. I don't see it for Gregory. I don't like people who abuse people. I don't. And I don't give them no grace. And I don't give grace to women who witness men abuse women and then run up behind them and marry them. You're an idiot. Damon says when somebody crosses that line, of course you're going to have a reaction. Damon agrees with King. I would have done the same thing. Steven says drama isn't his thing. He's more of a mediator. And he said this is the most unique trip he's been on. So they're getting ready for couples therapy, and they're all wearing yellow for friendship, is what Simone says later. Toya and Eugene are in their room. Toya says, "I'm tired. The couple stuff is not working. Let's be like Heavenly and Damon and say we're perfect." On the way there, Contessa FaceTimed Tanisha and Greg, and Gregory is explaining what happened. He took his shirt off and charged at me. And later, Contessa confirms that he was still angry. She's like, he was on fire. He was mad. The little volcano was still lit on top of his little round head. Back in Atlanta, Gregory says he's feeling worn out. They're in their kitchen with that table that he's had since Quad lived there. He said he's feeling worn out, and Tanisha says she didn't know she can run that fast. Gregory says it was annoying and embarrassing, all the stuff, and her saying she left me and all of that. I wasn't ready to hear that bullshit. You weren't, but you was ready to bring your new wife around your ex-wife. You were ready for that. You were ready to see how she was going to react to that. but you weren't ready for her to bring her man there and then say, I left that marriage, right? Because how dare that woman think that she can endorse our relationship? I'm the man. Remember I said that last week? And then this week we can see that's exactly how he behaves. That's exactly the energy he has. How dare she? I'm the man. I endorse the relationship. I wasn't ready to hear all that bullshit. He says he doesn't like leaving stuff, but his emotions were high and I want to do what's safe. It was a toxic environment. Someone was then they go back to them in the kitchen. Someone was going to get hurt. We were going to fight to the death. And she was like, I don't know all about that. I don't know if y'all was really fighting to the death. Wasn't nothing going to happen. I was there. He was like, do you know him? How can you say that? She was like, I was there. It wasn't going to be all that. He was like, what you going to do? She said she's from in girl, she's a veteran from the Air Force who was combat trained. A lot of people in the comments said that don't mean a damn thing, but whatever. I don't know anything. Haven't been in the military, so I don't know. Y'all let me know what combat trained looks like, where she felt that she was going to be able to handle King. You need to be combat trained for that munchkin you got running around in your house, the leader of the fucking lollipop guild. That's what you need to be worried about.
We represent the lollipop guild, the lollipop guild, the lollipop.
Shit. She said, I'm combat trained. He said, you're still a woman, and then took a sip of his drink. When I tell you, I wanted to reach through my motherfucking screen, grab that nigga by his throat and squeeze his head off his fucking body. I do not like abusive men. I don't care. I don't have no grace for them bitches. I don't. I went on ChatGPT and I said, what is a man's perspective who tells a woman after she says that she would have protected him in a fight and that she was combat trained, and he responds with, you're still a woman? This is what a fucking computer said about Gregory. That man's comments suggest a dismissive attitude towards women, implying that regardless of a woman's skills or experience, her gender makes her inherently weaker or less capable in a combat situation. And that you're just a woman thing is the same energy that Heavenly was saying about gay, weak, soft, and bitch. This attitude that your gender or sexuality makes you inherently weaker or less capable. It reflects a traditional, possibly outdated belief that men are naturally superior in physical confrontations. By saying you're just a woman, he reduces her to her gender rather than recognizing her as an individual with specific abilities. This response implies that he undervalues or dismisses the idea that women can be as capable as men in certain areas, especially those traditionally seen as male dominated, like combat. Ultimately, it reveals a lack of respect for women and a narrow view of gender roles. That's your man, girl. At least you got a man. Keep my husband out of it.
But keep my husband out of it.
Stupid ass. He says, he's looking down at her. Can you imagine a short little sawed-off toy soldier bitch looking down at you? When I tell you I kick that motherfucker in his chin, will be some combat going on in that motherfucking house. And that's why Quad pulled a knife on his ass. Bitch, you're not going to talk to me like that, motherfucker. I don't know who the fuck you think you talking to, looking down at me, telling me, you're naive. You naive. You could be naive sometimes. Girl, please. He said it twice, looking at her, talking about, ooh, it's sweet. It's sweet. It's sweet. She said, well, you're not getting anywhere with that. You got to calm down. He says, what did I do? She said, be quiet. That man was charging at me. What do you think was on his mind? She says, well, I don't think that anything would have happened. Basically, that's my opinion, and I'm entitled to my opinion. He tells her, you can't take the truth. She said, don't do that. He said, maybe we should end this right now. I was ready for him to go outside and hop into that motherfucking toy car he had and zoomed off again the way he did Quad when he was done with the conversation. Oh, this man is doing the same exact thing he was doing to his ex-wife. Oh my God. Can you believe it? She said, don't do that. He said, maybe we should end this right here. She said, come back. He said, He said, walking up the stairs, you charging a grown-ass man. Where are you? She said, where are you going? She said, where are you going? I'm all that you have. So y'all on some codependent, abusive shit over there? Where this man is verbally abusing you and you won't leave because you believe you're all he has? Girl, just like your silly ass jumped into his DMs, when you get tired of his shit and leave his ass, another stupid bitch is going to be in his DMs telling him the same shit you told him. Because there's no consequence for his behavior. No, every woman should look at this man on the public square and say, he should not ever be close enough to a woman to produce a child. He's undeserving of partnership. He's definitely undeserving of parenthood. I wouldn't give that bitch no babies. Girl, you better shove a sock up there or something. She goes upstairs running after him. Don't run after our man. Don't run after a man, especially after he's degraded you and dismissed you. You're still a woman. Girl, take your little ass upstairs and hop on that bed. Get on that stool. I got a stool to get up on my fucking bed. Get that stool to get up on the bed, you little bitch. Girl, and I wouldn't give a fuck if that he could talk to you like that when the cameras are there. I mean, there's literally a man standing right there with a camera, and that motherfucker is talking to her like that. What do you think he's saying to her when nobody's in there? There's at least 4 people in their house right now, and he's talking to her like that. She goes running upstairs after him and closes the door. He tells her it's your fault. How many people have been in abusive relationships and after the motherfucker beat your ass tells you it's your fault I did that to you? If you weren't acting that way, I would not have reacted that way. I wouldn't have abused you had you not behaved in the way that I wanted you to behave. It's your fault that I'm acting like this. She says, it's not my fault. She says, I'm entitled to my opinion. It makes no sense, he tells her. You think you know everything, don't you? You think you know everything, don't you? She says, I'm just looking out for the team. He said, you should look out for the team by listening to the leader of the team. This is your fucking leader?
Tired ass, po ass, raggedy ass, slow ass niggas.
This is your leader. Mm-mm. You are making me hype. That's what he says. She says, don't call me naive. And then he says, I don't know who you think you talking to. She says, be quiet. He says, I don't think you know who you talking to. He said it again. Like, nigga, what the fuck is going on behind those closed doors? And she's so green, bitch, you mic'd up. And the cameraman is right outside your bedroom door. She says, be quiet. He says, don't say stupid stuff and you won't get a reaction that you don't want. It's your fault. I asked ChatGPT about that little scenario. ChatGPT said, that statement suggests a power imbalance. Whether the speaker is positioning themselves as the one in control of how the conversation unfolds, it implies a lack of emotional regulation. This is a psychiatrist. It implies a lack of emotional regulation and an attempt to silence or blame the other person for their reaction rather than addressing the underlying issue. The speaker might be deflecting responsibility of their own actions by shifting the blame entirely onto the other person. The dynamic could reflect a lack of empathy as the speaker seems more focused on maintaining control rather than understanding the other person's feelings. Overall, it indicates a communication breakdown and a defensive stance that prevents healthy dialogue. That's your man, girl. An emotionally unregulated man who doesn't take responsibility, who dismisses you as a woman, but wants you to make a baby for him, girl.
You better go find you a chiropractor.
I'll be damned. Couples therapy. Yellow is a color of friendship. We're going to do a listening exercise. We're going to pass around a bowl of lemons. Whoever has the bowl is going to be able to talk. Nobody else can talk. We were told that we tear each other down, and we do know how to support each other. We hold each other in a clutch. We all have flaws. Cecil said, y'all do. And then you ask, the question is, how do you feel about exes in the group? Mimi says when the exes have not done the work, they haven't forgiven themselves for being in that relationship. That's one thing Tanisha's going to have to do. You're going to have, the first thing you're going to have to do when you exit that relationship, and hopefully you're on your way out, hopefully you're not stupid, believing and trying to prove to everybody who was right about that they're wrong by staying in a relationship. So many women stay in a fucking jive ass, fucked up, weird ass relationship with a nigga to prove everybody else wrong when everybody else was actually right about the motherfucker. Don't be a dummy. You was already a dummy for witnessing a man abuse a woman and jumping into his DMs. You also a dummy for trying to get pregnant by the same motherfucker. So you need to not be more of a dummy by not leaving when you should. Girl, you in danger, girl. Mimi says the exes haven't done the work. You need to grieve the relationship. There's a lot of unforgiveness. They haven't done the work. Jackie says, I wouldn't be able to handle it. Don't bring no exes around me. Toya says what Gregory and Tanisha did was wrong yesterday, but we're wrong. We're trying to look in the mirror and conveniently say we're not mean girls, but we say and do some fucked up shit. Toya said, we have said some hurtful things, and they ran the montage. Run the montage when, and add to the montage when Phadra said, oh, now I'm the daggone villain. Yes, bitch, you the villain. After you told this dunce that the Burses were going to rape and drug her in a dungeon, girl. Heavenly says, it's wrong not to consider Quad's feelings. All of us would have wanted that respect, but y'all don't respect women. You bring the person who abused them and caused them so much fucking trauma, you bring them around her and try to see how she's going to act. We should not have done that without considering her feelings. We did you wrong. You guys did do Quad wrong. And any group of women who would have done that to another woman they say is their friend, no, you're wrong. You are dead wrong. King said, this is a complicated situation. It's unusual. It's not natural. A lot of emotions are involved. Both parties haven't done the work. These are humans with real emotions. We have to consider that. Eugene says he wants to consider and acknowledge Gregory's feelings. He is a part of the group, even though you don't hang out with him. It was not a good idea to have him around. Quad said, I want y'all to put yourself in my shoes and then you'll have clarity. Girl, we saw at the end of the episode. We got the clarity. Curtis says, how do we correct this? How do we let them know they're a part of the group? They don't need to be a part of the group. They never should have been included. Never. Gregory and his wife need to remain private citizens. But girl, we got to see him again do what we know him for. We got to see it again. Curtis says, how do we correct this? Contessa said, we talked to G on the way here. We see that King is calm. Gregory was still on fire, still mad. How are you mad? You don't even need to be here. That's you. You know what? You should be mad. Good. You good. I hope your head explodes. Steven says, it was mature of him to leave. They thank Contessa for coming back to the group. Damon says, we accept everybody the way they are. You're amazing people, not because of your titles. And then Cecil said, these kind of bitches, sometimes you got to let them go. And that was the end of the episode. I'm done with it. There's nothing else I have to say. But Tanisha, you're a fool. Women need to look at her and use her as an example. When you have the opportunity, not every woman gets the luxury, gets the privilege of being able to have a Yelp review You could see it yourself. You're not going on secondhand information. You're not going on what she's running around town saying. You were able to see it yourself. And this thing where Quad is still, because Quad came out last night and was like, this episode was triggering for me. No matter what that girl has said to me, I feel sorry for her. Everybody's still in the comments. See, you need to stop talking about those people's marriage. Girl, that fucking sham of a marriage, that jive ass relationship over there, girl, please. Nobody's upholding that covenant, like Mimi said. That's a covenant. I would really like to hear what Mimi thinks about what she saw. I really, if she comes to the reunion, I hope, see, and that's the thing. When they have the reunion before the season is over, do they get to talk about, because are they going to talk about how Gregory spoke to her at the reunion? Because that needs to be discussed. Here he is again, has not changed. And women need to understand, you are not that special, sweetheart. You are not going to change a man. No matter if you can give him a baby, no matter if you can give him a home, no matter what you can give him, he is not going to change. Especially when there was no consequence for his previous behavior. Everybody should look at Martell, all these weird niggas that on TV. Y'all see them and think that they're some type of celebrities and you want to jump in their inboxes. These niggas are violent, emotionally unregulated, narcissists. They do not deserve partnership. You should look at those men and run in the opposite direction. G is undeserving of DNA duplication. He is undeserving, unsuitable for partnership. That man deserves to be single. He needs to be in intensive therapy. And all you abuse apologists out there thinking that you can change an abusive man, you cannot. Thinking there's some type of sanctity over this marriage. This woman jumped in that man's DM and said, I can give you what you want. I can give you a baby. Not even thinking that the previous woman was with him for 10 years and not one child came out of that relationship. For 10 years, she made a conscious effort not to reproduce that gnome DNA. Girl. And you thought, and now you're down there having to save face. You look ridiculous. Now you down there having to save face. You running up behind the man. That's the abuse is already, we could see it. We can see it. He looks his nose down at you, degrades you, tell you you're still a woman. Yeah, don't you need that woman to reproduce your funky ass? I wouldn't reproduce him at all. Girl, fuck that man. And all the men like him. Fuck all of them. I have zero grace for abusers. I don't give a fuck. I promise you, I don't give a fuck. And you're a stupid bitch for marrying that motherfucker. Not only marrying him, but going down to the woman he abused, going down to her fucking job and marrying him on TV. I don't have no grace for that weird bitch either. Her stupid ass, you better not reproduce that motherfucker. You better not. You're a dummy. You are a bigger dummy. You're a dummy because you saw a woman get abused by a man. You jumped in his DMs thinking you were a man older than your fucking parents. Do y'all know that Gregory is older than Tanisha's parents? This is this age gap thing, man. Fuck that old man, girl. And then not only are you gonna girl, I wouldn't reproduce that motherfucker at all. It wouldn't be no way. I gotta go. Take care of each other, y'all. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Peace.